because this is sickening what's going on in here, man. This man, y'all. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all something. All you gotta do is go to YouTube and pull up Sabonis' highlights. Pull up Arvydas Sabonis' highlights from passing. Pull up Chris Webber's highlights passing the basketball. Pull up Vlade Divac's highlights passing the basketball. We've seen Jokic before. The only thing is like I told Lo, baby, if you put Jokic back in their era, he wouldn't average 10 assists. The only reason why he does is because he's playing in this weak-ass era where the court is open and they're shooting more shots.
And one more time. I've never said the reason why he's a better passer is because of assists. I'm talking about literally the ability to pass the ball, the level of difficulty he's able to pass. Yes.
Arvydas Sabonis?
Yes. And to be fair to Sabonis, I would assume the best version of Sabonis, unfortunately, we didn't see. So there's possibility that all what he did overseas is better than Jokic.
But Chris Webber,
From what we've seen, you're right about Sabonis. You're right about Sabonis. We didn't see his best in the NBA.
From what we've seen.
For those of us that saw what he did in Europe, yes, but we're not looking at that. So yes, but Sabonis had all the skill, specifically passing him not better than Jokic. But you're right.
What about Chris Webber in this era?
We didn't see his best. I think Chris Webber is so underrated.
In this era, Fluent.
I see the chat. I see the chat laughing at Vlade Divac. Go look at Vlade Divac.
Vlade Divac is not a better passer.
He's not a better passer. Chat, if you make your opinions based off highlights on any player,
we're not. No. You're
the one who told them to look at highlights.
Oh, you just.
You're the one. So that's why I said that. You're the one who told them to watch highlights.
You're basing your argument off Jokic averaging 10 assists this year.
No, we're not.
Shut up. Now you're just chatting. If
we're just talking low, if we're just talking passing low, if we're just talking passing,
that's ridiculous.
Chris Webber could put up the same numbers. Hold on, Chris Webber could put up the same numbers Jokic's putting up now in this era.
You know what?
This man has spoke about numbers 10 times more than I have.
Never said numbers. Last year he didn't average 10 assists. He was still a better passer. I've never said numbers.
I don't believe he's a better passer than Chris Webber.
You know what's so sad?
We don't care what you believe is. I just don't like that you believe is based on numbers. When
I'm not.
You've argued up and down about John Stockton on 5 episodes.
Keep
so
arguing.
You just don't make sense. Who are you talking to? Who are you talking to, bro? Shut up. Like, you don't make sense. You don't make sense. You just don't listen. You just don't listen.
I made dudes like you give up.
Last time I checked, you've never beat me in a debate. Last time I checked, I swept you. Last time I checked, you got cooked. Last time I checked, you lost the Jokic versus Wilt Chamberlain debate. Last time I checked, you lost the Ben Wallace versus Draymond Green debate. Last time I checked, it was 3-0 to you. Last time I checked.
Ron.
All right. Okay. All right.
Ron, this is supposed to be the Valentine's Day love edition. What's going on, Ron?
Yeah, nah, it's far from that. Clearly.
I want to be clear. If we're number guy, then I wouldn't be saying anything crazy about stock, quote unquote crazy about Stockton. I would have Stockton as the best passer.
But you know what though? I don't like that we don't use numbers at all. I think we need to look at the numbers. I think we need to use the eye test. I think we need to look at its impact and effect on the game because all those things matter. And I think I know they paint Marz with this I think incorrect numbers brush, but I don't think it should be if you're only using the eye test, you're wrong. If you're only using numbers, you're wrong. You can't just use one thing. It's just wrong because there's more facets to the game and all those things matter.
Hey, Fluent, let him push that narrative. Hey, Fluent, let him push that Fluent. Let him push that narrative. All I know is dudes like Marz, I took his lunch and sold it back to his punk ass. That's how I do dudes like him.
You've never beat me in a debate. All you do is call me British boy and lose.
Fluent, I'm gonna say this to you. Hey, Fluent, I'm gonna say this to you right now, Fluent. This is the same kid that just told you that he thought Jokic is a better passer than J Kidd. That's all we need to know. That's all we need to know. Then J Kidd, who led 2 teams to the NBA Finals based off his ability to pass the basketball.
He is not intelligent. No, he's not intelligent. He doesn't. He's mentally incapable. He's mentally inept.
That's not stats. That's production, young fella. That's not stats. That's production.
He's mentally inept. He doesn't. He's dumb. He's dumb.
I want to ask you,
Ticket. Respectfully, you are the dumbest person I've ever met.
This will be a St. Valentine's.
Ticket. That doesn't make it because that means that John Stockton wasn't a great passer until '97. That's crazy.
Doug, do you agree? Do you agree with your guy Marz because he swept him in the debate that he's definitely the winner because he smoked him?
No, I think every single time I've seen Marz, in the debate with Ticket, damn near every single time, regardless of that Black Friday event, I think Marz wins it almost every single time.
Does it? Okay.
It's like almost every single time. But the thing that gets me kind of frustrated.
Hey, John B, I know you're gonna say that, John B. I know you're gonna say that. Hey, but John B, you don't want no smoke with me one-on-one. You don't want no smoke with me one-on-one. You don't want no smoke with me one-on-one.
Ticket.
You don't want
you the same dude that left. You the same dude that left the open gym.
I didn't leave. Hold on, Doug.
Let's not do this.
You ain't gotta say nothing, Doug. You ain't gotta say nothing, baby. Hey, Doug, you can go one-on-one with the great one anytime you want. Don't bring Marz. Don't bring Low.
No problem.
Bring your ass, boy, and I'm gonna step on it.
No, you ain't
period. Like I said before, hey, Doug, because I'm gonna tell you something, Doug. I'm gonna tell you something, Doug. I'm not for you to come in here, Doug, as a good basketball mind that I know you are, because you a good dude. I like you, but for you to acknowledge and stand behind a dude who sat up here and said Jokic a better passer than J Kidd, and he said he's not talking about stats. Come on,
I'm about to get to that. I'm about to get to that.
He doesn't agree with that. He doesn't agree with that.
I'm about to get to that. Though.
But listen,
I've been trying to get to that for a while now.
He said he's not talking about stats, right? But they still haven't answered the question. If Jokic played in their era, he wouldn't average them assists. But guess what? If J Kidd and them dudes played in this era, they'd average more, right? So
look, hold on.
This guy is so dumb.
Here's the most important thing. J Kidd led 2 teams to the finals based off his ability to pass the ball. Jokic hasn't been able to get to the finals, and they call him the best passer in the game and putting him past all-time greats.
So Ticket, just quick question. So John Stockton was not the best passer in the NBA until 97. Was that what you're saying?
John Stockton?
He had
a few years. He had a few years. To me, he had a few years. He was the best passer in basketball. But I had a lot of dudes that wasn't putting up numbers like that I thought were better passers. I'm gonna tell you something. I thought Mark Jackson was a great passer. I thought.
No, better. Who was a better passer than Stockton before 97? Because Stockton never led his team to the finals. So up until 97, 98. So I'm not saying that's the only. No, I'm not saying that's the only criteria. Is that you got to lead him to the finals? I'm saying to you, you got this. All I'm basically trying to say. Y'all are crowning Jokic way too soon, bro. You putting him in the arm of legends, and y'all going off a 3-year span, a 2-year span. We talking about dudes that did this for.
I've been trying to address that.
I said the word.
We've all said love. We said
this is the thing. This is the thing that's getting me type upset with Marz and Low, because I know what you guys are basing this off of. And yes, it's numbers based. What they look at is the efficiency of the offense and how the
based off numbers.
No. I'm gonna tell you. You guys, Marz, I've seen you say points numerous times. You guys look at the efficiency of the offense and how high of the offense was operating with those guys being there. You guys, I know that's
nothing to do with passing.
No,
Marz,
impact. I know that.
I'm telling you, you're incorrect. I'm telling you, you're incorrect.
Marz,
I'm telling you, you're incorrect. Dub, I'm telling you.
Marz,
I'm telling you what I believe. You're wrong.
Marz, you've been on a road tonight, but trust me.
Dub, how are you telling me what I believe?
Because I'm telling you the reasonings you use for strictly passing. And you brought up Steve Nash and James Harden, right?
Yeah.
You did bring up, and when we talked about that, I'm pretty sure when we talked about that, you definitely alluded to the team and how the team was operating. That's not my words. Can
I tell you what I valued in passing? How many times I've said it? The amount of opportunities you create, the quality of the opportunities you create, and the variation of ways you can create those opportunities. That's what I said. You're talking about how I value Steve Nash's ability to impact these offenses. And when I told you Steve Nash led 6 of the 15 best offenses of all time. Yes, that is numbers based. I've never denied I use numbers. What I have denied is people calling me a numbers guy and then can't tell me the numbers I use. Because I can tell everyone the numbers I use right now, here and now. True shooting percentage, efficiency, points per 75. The same thing as points per game, which everyone else loves to use. But I use points per 75, and all of a sudden I'm the stat guy. Offensive rating for teams, so I can see how well a team is performing offensively. Defensive rating for teams, so I can see how well a team is performing defensively. That is the extent of the numbers I use.
And when it comes to even
Ron,
with me,
don't worry. Ron, don't worry. Ron, don't worry. I'm gonna shut all this down. I'm gonna get real NBA cats to come on the show this month. Every week,
I'm gonna go back and look at this episode, Marz.
I'm gonna see.
I'm gonna go back, Marz, and look at this episode because I'm pretty sure you said
I'm gonna see if he gonna run this same bull jive with cats who really played in the association.
But Marz, a lot of your opinions, Marz, a lot of your opinions are direct relation to all of those numbers that you look at. That's what you do. I know you, Marz. That's exactly what you do.
I use efficiency
maybe it
to
wasn't
talk about
passing.
someone's efficiency.
Maybe it wasn't passing, but playmaking, all that efficiency of the offense, and that's something that you do a lot.
Yes, playmaking.
No. The thing
not passing. The whole discussion right now is passing. That's what
no. Marz, I'm not.
You just changed your tune.
I did change my tune.
There we go. Okay,
I'm
so
not
we
arguing
agree.
with you about passing.
Right,
Okay.
cool.
So
Okay.
you and Low do this a lot and playmaking and everything. What y'all do is, which I don't get it because you guys aren't the team success guys. You guys will look at how great the team is operating, and then use that as a basis to put a guy on a different level than somebody else, completely disregarding all the other pieces that's on that team. Y'all lean with being the anchor for this or being the main catalyst to this. So therefore, he's on this position.
Not entirely, but sure.
But that's what you guys do.
Partially, yes. Partially,
my whole thing is Marz. It's okay. Just own up to it.
No, I own that I use stats. No, I own.
Okay, you're the stats guys. You're one of the stats
now
guys.
You lose me. I 100. Like I said, I 100% use stats. There's no way I don't use efficiency when talking about how well someone scores. Because if you don't do that to me, you are dumb. There's no way I don't use volume when talking about how well someone scores. Because once again, if you don't do that, you are dumb. There's no way I don't talk when I'm talking about the impact a player has to a team. Do I just use wins and losses? No, you know why? Because that is dumb. I use stats with context, and because I don't use the traditional points per game, rebounds per game, assists per game, field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, free throw percentage, the traditional numbers that are found on the box score, which some people up here, Ticket explicitly uses every single time he makes a debate, which are also stats, by the way, chat. So if you didn't know, someone saying someone averages 30 and 15, that's stats. It's the same way I would use someone using 60% true shooting. They are both stats. But because one of them is a stat you guys in the chat use, because you don't understand contextualized stats. So you see the box score and all of a sudden it's not stats, it's just something everyone knows. So whenever people use those stats, you don't see them as stats. When I use a stat that is actually more contextualized and more valid, such as relative true shooting or scoring adjusted per era, which a lot of people should like to do, because a lot of people like to say, what would a guy do in this era and that era? When there's adjusted points per game and adjusted efficiencies, that can help him do that.
Well, let me say
I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you.
That's not what you said. My name. You said
I said your name. I was talking about you, not to you. I was talking about you, not to you. I was talking about you, not to you. I was talking about you, not to you.
Like I said, Marz.
I was talking about you, not to you.
Marz, I'm gonna say this to you, brother. Listen to what I'm saying right now. Before I always say stats, the one thing I talk about is winning. When I talked about old boy from the Wizards, I use winning. That is the most important stat to me at first. Before we go to the numbers, the numbers to me is the secondly important because it contributes to the winning if you are winning. So, and my whole point to you is, Marz, is that you guys, like elders say, y'all have eliminated the eye test, right? So you can use advanced stats, this, that, and the third. That doesn't mean nothing. And I'm gonna tell you why. Hold on. You can shake your head all you want, Lo. You can shake your head like D-Lo Brown or whatever. It don't matter. I'm gonna tell you, it does not. You guys eliminate the eye test. So you can say advanced stats will do this, advanced stats will do that. But if you put Jokic out there against real dogs, and he has to play a different type of system in a different era, he's not going to be putting up these same assist numbers. So what I'm saying is you aren't going to be regarding him in the same way. Jokic would have got punked back in that era playing the game he play now. Punked, beat up, and he wouldn't be able to play the game he's playing. He's playing this game
that's where because you go, and I'm like,
hold on, bro,
I like what you,
Doug,
but you go to an extreme where you don't have
Doug,
to.
It's true. Tell me, Doug, how many assists you think Jokic would average in the late 90s, early 2000s?
Once again, chat, hear the numbers. Hear the numbers.
No. I'm asking Doug this question because if we're saying that Jokic is such a great passer, I'm asking him how many assists do you think he would average in the late 90s, early 2000s?
He could probably average maybe 6.
Okay, right.
Just make sure everyone heard the numbers.
No. Wait, stay right there, because you're gonna make my point right there. Stay right there. So, how many assists in this era do you think a Sabonis, a Chris Webber, a Divac, and all those dudes who were great passers, who these dudes don't give credit to, how many assists you think they would average in this era, where there's more threes, more open court, more shot? Go ahead.
But what Marz and Lowe isn't saying that. But when
No,
you
I ain't
what
asking
they're
them. I'm
saying,
asking
no, no,
you.
I'm no more. No,
No,
no, no.
I'm not.
Ticket. I need
I'm
you to
asking
understand
you.
this because
How
I'm not
many
in this
assists do you
conversation
think?
with you guys. When you sit here and say things like Jokic would get bodied, Jokic would it's impossible for him to be doing anything like that. He's gonna be a chump. That is just wrong. That is wrong. Jokic in any era will be able to get off. Would he be putting up 10 assists? Probably not. But damn, he's probably the best passing big man ever in NBA history. So yes, I do think that he'll be having more dimes than a lot of those other guys. You can't just sit here and say that he's just gonna get bodied by everybody because that's not true. That's just not true, Ticket. So you just can't
So you really
discredit
think
the
so low?
you
You really?
can't
I mean, shit.
All
discredit
right,
Duh.
all
You
right.
really
Hold on,
think
hold
he's a
on,
better
hold on,
passer?
hold
guy
on.
that they're
You really
holding
think
up.
he's a?
Time out.
No. I'm just.
Happy Valentine's. No. Hold on. Happy Valentine's Day. I gotta bounce. I love you all. Have a good night.
Peace.
All right, Fluent.
Yeah.
Hey, Fluent, before you go, Fluent, answer that question. Do you think Jokic is an all-time better passer than
In the
Sabonis?
NBA, yes, because we didn't see the best of Sabonis.
No. I'm just saying, no, period. No, I'm saying, do you think Jokic is a better passer than Sabonis? Not in the NBA, period.
I saw Sabonis do in Europe. I think he had as much, if not more, skill, but we never got to see it in the NBA. So I have to go with Jokic because it was in the NBA, and the European League isn't as good as the NBA.
It's the player choice way. Yeah, them boys don't get it started. The player choice way. Yeah, the player choice way. Come and switch lanes into the player choice way.